To understand how to make an avoidant miss you, you first have to understand how avoidants look at interpersonal relationships. If you have an anxious attachment style, it will be the total opposite of how you look at relationships, which is probably why your avoidant pulled away or broke up with you in the first place. So, how can you make them miss you and want you back? Stay tuned and you'll find out. Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. I'm a dating and relationship expert specializing in helping you get your ex back or to get over your ex. And welcome back, my beautiful no contact army. Have you been a good little soldier? Well, if you have and you've downloaded my app Silencio, then you've also given me either a review or a rating, right? And the link to that is underneath every single video and podcast. And if you too would like to join our no contact army, all you have to do is hit the subscribe button and the bell notification and you're in. And to read our manual, go to nocontactsecrets.com, where you can read 2 free chapters before you purchase the book. And the link to that is also underneath every single video and podcast. So when people first hear about the avoidant attachment style, they mistakenly think that it means that avoidants avoid relationships and don't want to be in relationships. And that's just not true. They do want to be in relationships. However, they do not want to have 100% intimacy within that relationship. They'll only let you go so far before you hit a wall that you just can't seem to get past. And if there's an issue, they would prefer to withdraw or avoid discussing it. They find it hard to trust someone 100%, and they definitely do not want to be dependent on their partner. Both male and female avoidants see themselves as strong, independent, autonomous, and self-sufficient. And this is because when they were a child, their their caretakers, maybe they're co-workers, no, their caretakers weren't there for them. And even if they were there physically, they weren't there for them. So they had no choice but to become independent and depend only on themselves. So trying to make an avoidant be less independent and more intimate will always be met with resistance. Look at it this way. Their independence and self-sufficiency is similar to the security blanket or the teddy bear that most of us had as children. Being alone and independent is their security blanket, their teddy bear. And if you try to take away a child's blanket or bear, they will kick and scream and yell and fight. They will fight you. So the same happens with an adult who has an avoidant attachment style. By trying to get them to move too quickly or be intimate beyond what they are currently capable of, you will get the same reaction, except as an adult, they may not kick and scream, at least I hope not, but they will pull away and ignore you. So keep this in mind as we discuss how to make an avoidant miss you. Now, I haven't mentioned this before, and that is to post less on social media. Usually I say to not change any of your posting habits, but when you're dealing with an avoidant, posting less will actually work in your favor, because they're going to be expecting you to post a lot to try to get their attention. And when you don't, they won't get the dopamine hit they would usually get from seeing your posts. And you'll also be a mystery to them, and avoidants love mysteries. So by posting less, this allows them to miss you sooner rather than later. An avoidant can't really miss you until you're actually gone and they think they've lost you. I'm sure you've heard this before. So if you're listening to this, you probably have an anxious attachment style. So it's going to be hard for you to just let go and disappear, because whenever someone pulls away or breaks up with you, your first instinct is to run towards them and to talk to them and to try to fix it and work things out. But for avoidance, it's the total opposite. They want to get away from you for the reason which I explained above. And once they feel that they're safe from you reaching out and trying to get them back, that's when they'll finally be able to relax enough to finally start missing you. That's why it's important to go into no contact sooner rather than later, especially if you're dealing with an avoidant ex. When you leave your ex alone, there's no chance of you triggering them with what they perceive as neediness. You're not asking to talk about things, you're not trying to get close, you've completely vanished. So they can go back to their baseline, to how they felt before they were triggered and felt the need to get away from you. And only once they get back to that place can they start to miss you. That's why the 2-drink trick works so well. And if you don't know what that is, basically what you do is you post a photo or a video of usually 2 drinks, it can be 2 plates, at a location, a restaurant, a bar, and you want to make it look like you're on a date. But they can't know for sure, right? You could be out with a girlfriend or a guy friend, but people are going to, of course, jump to conclusions and assume you're on a date. So with an avoidant, this can go either way, in the sense that they'll realize that you're gone because you've moved on and are seeing someone else, and they will start to miss you, or they'll realize that you're gone and have moved on, and there's no point in thinking about trying to get you back. Don't freak out. So what determines what reaction they'll have? Well, as usual, it's their interest level and how much of an ego they have. So if they have a big ego and they're very interested, it'll be a challenge for them to get you back. A challenge in the sense that they will happily take it on. It's like, what? They're not going to date someone else. I'm getting them back. However, if they're not that interested and they're not that confident or don't have that big of an ego, then they'll think, well, there's no point in trying to get them back. So you have to think about which category your ex would fall into. And also, timing is very important with the 2-drink trick. You can't do it too soon, or they'll see it as a ploy to get them back, and they won't believe that you found someone else that soon, or they'll think you had someone else all along, and now they don't trust you. So why would they want you back? Because trust is very important for avoidance. So you want to wait at least 2 months, and the reason for that is because of the 60-day no contact rule, which I talked about in my video of the same title, and I will put the link in the right-hand corner on YouTube. We want to give them a chance to reach out to you. And if they don't, then 2 months is a respectable amount of time for someone to start dating and start moving on. They can't accuse you of having someone else because you're posting drinks at least 2 months after the breakup. You're not posting them 2 days or 2 weeks later, right? And you also need to give them time to date other people and see that they cannot replace you. You're not easily replaceable. And in the meantime, you've done no contact. They haven't heard from you. They haven't found anybody else. So it's a lot easier to miss you, especially if they've just been dumped by someone else. So finally, I'm going to say that you have to give them the time to start fantasizing about you again and to romanticize you and your time together. And if you're having a hard time with that, as most anxiously attached people do, I suggest you read the book Anxiously Attached by Jessica Baum. If you're watching this on YouTube, the link is underneath. And if you find you still need more help, then I would suggest you also consider therapy. Okay? So now I want to hear from you. How long have you been in no contact, and how is it going? And in the meantime, if you would like my help to get your ex back, you can contact me at theartoflove.net/coaching, and we will send you the rates. They are not on the website, and the link to that is underneath every single video and podcast. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. If you're listening to this as a podcast, the best way to help is to download the episode. Okay? And in the meantime, remember, love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.